It's one of the victims of their exciting life. I'll be looking for work here pretty soon because I'm a moron and I didn't do it. It's disquieting. Yeah, was I playing with stuff that you want to tear up? Delicious. But no, I was lazy and it's gonna burn up. It's eating my brain. Could I escape from hungry dinosaurs? And it's all going to explode into an orange cloud of dust. It was pathetic. I want to do some more videos. I'm doing a video about videos. It's like a meeting about meetings. I'd like to branch out into some other, a little weirder stuff. The Pythagorean theories of music. Totally interesting. Can I get that across in a way that isn't too woo-woo or just plain boring? I don't know. And some other stuff like other channels have their, sound like so and so without breaking the bank, or put gear together to sound like your Guitar Hero, whoever, and that's cool. I'd like to do something similar, but not the same. It has less to do with sounding like a person, but there's a sound alike quality to it. As anyone on YouTube who is a creator will tell you, if they have half a brain, you got to be careful about copyright. And about copyright, it's easy to screw that up though. Because those are the songs you know, and those are the songs other people know. And it's deadly tempting to dig into those riffs, and you've played them forever anyway. You can't do it. You cannot. I watched Mick Taylor struggle several times on camera. He's just like, I can't play that. I can't play it. And I understood, in my mind, like, yeah, you can't play it. But I didn't understand how deep the temptation was when you're staring at a camera and you want to sound good and your hands will just do it. They'll just go there. And you can't freaking do it. It's asking for bad trouble. Guitar stuff, car stuff. I haven't pulled the trigger on a pistol or rifle in months. I'm sure I have to clean guns that I didn't clean when I went to the range the last time. I'm feeling the limitations of my capabilities in a way that I didn't when I was younger, and that's difficult to accept. I do not suck gracefully. When I suck, it does not sit well. When you're training with these young bucks from literally like Texas A&M University shooting squad, I felt like a terrible shooter, and that was hard. It's just like with anything else, though. These skills, all the skills, every human skill is perishable. Some persist longer than others, but there are some skills that you develop and you have to keep them at a certain level through constant repetition, or they go away. They don't go away like they were never there at all, but they betray you. Like you do what you think you're supposed to be doing, and you don't get the results that you used to get, and it's because you quit practicing for whatever reason, time or money to put into that particular endeavor, or maybe you switched endeavors and you don't do that anymore, and you go back to it and crap. So I want to go back to a time and a mindset where it was just fun. I used to just shoot and it was fun. It wasn't this constant drumbeat of negative attention, let's say. Yeah, my technique wasn't nearly as good, and I was untrained, and I had a certain amount of natural affinity for it, but I was having fun. Like, it was fun. It hasn't been really fun in a long time. Like, fun. Like, I'm really looking forward to this fun. And I think that's part of the reason I picked guitar back up. Now, I had the same kind of issue with guitar, at least. I moved to Austin so that I could maybe even marginally succeed as some kind of creative something. And music was a part of that. And don't get me wrong, I did some cool stuff. I ended up doing projects that were not in my core field of interest. And I learned things, but I kind of burned out on it a little bit. And I knew I had burned out when I turned down an offer to join a band that was opening for ZZ Top. The opportunity was laid at my feet, and I was like, nope, no. And it made me just really stop and think, like, okay. So I effectively put my instruments down for too long. It's part of the reason I'm doing the guitar videos. Is it's a byproduct of what's really going on, which is I have been humbled rather substantially in in a number of areas of my life, but in kind of a good way, because I don't have any arrogance about my abilities anymore. And that just might come with age and life experience, or just getting real. But I don't consider myself an awesome guitarist. I did consider myself an awesome guitarist when I was younger, and maybe I wasn't. I think I was okay. I think I was better than average, but I wasn't learning anymore. Not really. I learned about recording technique, and I learned about putting an album together and production and some cool stuff, but I wasn't getting better as a guitar player, and I didn't at the time didn't necessarily think I needed to. I was wrong, but it's exciting because these new vistas have opened up, and there's all these cool things to learn, right? Just things I wasn't exposed to. So it's kind of a street guitarist, like just picking up licks and tricks from your peers and your friends, and listening to albums and picking up what you can pick up, and I'm looking at a much more comprehensive and complete package of learning, and it's great. It's great. Right now, at this moment in history, is a fantastic time to learn an instrument, because I can't believe the number and the variety of resources that will let you learn the whole shebang. You can learn everything. There's video games that'll teach you how to play. There's apps. There's plenty of videos. There's normal instructors have certainly not lost any value. Videos and DVDs, I mean, you still buy them on the onlines. If that's not a humbling experience for you, at least, I mean, it is for me. Look at all the stuff I don't know. But that's great. Look at all the stuff I can learn. And every piece of it is going to filter through my perception and inevitably be colored and altered by my perceptive processes and my ability and my tastes and tonal aspirations and even the shape and approach of my fingers, my equipment. It will inevitably, like it or not, come out as me. And that's okay. I am Doc. Now and forever. And remember, it's the mind. Really, really, the mind. It's the beginning and ending of all of this. And then the ear, as battered as mine is, you got to train it. You got to respect it. You got to actively listen to things. Use your ear to listen to you. Use your ear to listen to other music, but don't just let it trickle in. Like, focus and almost like shove it in your ear. Just like pull it in and examine it. And think. Your hands. Your hands are your tone, for the most part. And then the other piece of your tone is your gear. And that's the package, man. That's what makes you a player in the guitar game. And you gotta feed all of those pieces. Fill your mind, learn, watch videos, watch people play live, listen. If you look on my playlist, I've got a Robben Ford playlist, and it's fantastic. And I watch it a lot. And I always get something new from it every time. And sometimes, like his concerts, I'll watch him play, like really study, what's he doing? And other times I will make sure I don't watch him. I make sure that I'm listening. Not watching the fingers, just what's the sound, what's happening, and visualizing it. And that's a different way of learning, and it shows me different insight. It's a different deal. As far as hand training, that's probably the easiest part from a what do I do standpoint. Do your scales, do your modes, do your finger exercises, play chords. You get bored, be playful, be inventive. You ever watch old Marx Brothers movies? Chico Marx playing piano, or Harpo playing harp. The reason that they do what they do, you got the shooting the keys and all the fun stuff, is because they practiced so much and would get bored. And so in practice they would start doing tricks because they practiced that much that they got bored but kept practicing. Are you going to practice to that level? Do you have that kind of time? I envy you if you do. But those are the things that can make you a standout. Be ridiculous with your practice. And honestly, I would prefer you practice 15 minutes a day, every day, than like 3 hours on Sunday, and then the rest of the week you don't touch it. I deteriorate when I do that. It's a bad idea, but Keep your hands going. Get your hands going. Get your hands in the game. They'll work for you, but you got to train them. But they'll retain that. Gear. There are tons of gear shows. They're just gear. Gear, gear, gear. We love gear. Gear is great. Stuff. And stuff for your stuff. Gear can be very inspiring, and it makes you feel renewed and refreshed. And it also feeds into the consumer society that we live in, which is fine. That feeling of accomplishment that comes from buying a thing. Be that as it may. You don't have to. The gear is not the thing. The gear you can play around lousy gear to an extent. Then there's an extent to which it actually holds you back, and if you reach that point, sure, upgrade. But give your gear an honest chance, and it may surprise you. And a friend of mine, Robert, super smart guy. We talk about the velocity of things, and it somewhat has to do with just refreshing yourself. So don't be afraid. Don't be like me. Don't be afraid to sell some stuff unless it's just super sentimental. I actually took my old Fender Princeton 65 down to a consignment shop to sell it, and for the most part, the real reason I did it was just to let go of something, which I suck at. I'm terrible at letting go of things. But if you can maintain a velocity of things, he's pretty good about not getting attached to stuff, my friend Robert. And he makes way for the new things and gets rid of the old, and he's just really good at it. Amazingly good at it. So maybe the velocity of things is the way forward for you and maybe for me. But yeah, gear, don't get too wrapped around it. Get a quality amp. A couple or three decent guitars is a great tonal variety. Don't buy the cheapest chords in the world. Try to find something that's okay at least. Stock up on your picks and make sure you're plugged into grounded power, which sounds stupid in this day and age, but this one of the reasons I'm in this room is because it has grounded power. The rest of the house doesn't, and it was creating bad problems. And I didn't want to blow up my nice amps. So grounded power is your friend. Grounded outlets. Just using an adapter is not really grounding your stuff, it turns out. Don't forget, this is a creative endeavor. You don't have to, at the end of the day, you do not have to have any external material. If you're super creative, you can sit down with a guitar and figure out some way to plonk out something, and then figure out methodically some sort of variation on it. I will play these three notes, bang, bang, bang. I will change the middle note. What do I think of that? I will keep the middle note and change the last note. I will keep the middle note and the last note and change the first note. I will play a drone. I will play two strings at the same time and just move one and keep playing the other. That's what I did when I was a little kid with a tremendously crummy guitar that was called Unsalvageable. I wish I had it, even as a wall hanger. It was, belonged to my grandparents. But the repair shop said there was no fixing it. And me, being young and too stupid to know that I wasn't supposed to play it, I played the heck out of it. So there you go. I hope you have a fantastic week. And when next we meet, I'm going to try to bring you some tones, some notes, and some playing. I think we're going to cover strumming and strumming transitions. Going from chord to chord, which freaks the newbies out to an extent because they got that one chord. I'm on the chord. All right, everything's great, and now you got to switch, and it all goes to poop. And it is kind of a race against time. It's a race against that beat that's coming up that demands the new chord. What are you going to do? So we'll talk about that and much more in the future. So mind, gear, hands, gear. I'm Doc, and we'll catch up soon. Okay, take care.